Good morning, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Classic Live Album War. Today we've got two double live albums from 1978 from two American bands that at the time both were riding pretty high. Both had spent plenty of time on the road with each other, so they're actually both very familiar with each other, right? Okay, we got in one corner Ted Nugent's double live Gonzo. Okay, in the other, live Bootleg from Aerosmith. Okay, two pretty hot albums, both containing a lot of the great tunes from the albums that preceded them. All right, so most of their classic material. Okay, and both show bands that were even more energetic live on the stage than they were in the studio. You know, both of these bands had some really great studio material. Okay, a lot of really classic albums. But man, it's in concert where they just everything just kind of came to life. So let's start off first with Double Live Gonzo. Of course, you know, this is the classic lineup of Ted Nugent's band. All right, so of course, you've got Ted on guitar and vocals. You've got Derek St. Holmes, rhythm guitar, vocals as well, Rob Grange on bass, and Cliff Davies on drums. So pretty much the classic Ted Nugent lineup, right? A lot of really great material on here, a lot of great guitar solos, lengthy tunes, you know, that whole nine yards. Kicking it off, you know, again, two albums back in the day, 4 sides of vinyl, CD, got 2 discs here. Just What the Doctor Ordered kind of kicks everything off. Great opener, all right? Raucous, raunchy Ted and company at their best. Yank Me, Crank Me. Great song. All right. Ted's crazy, silly lyrics, right? How about Gonzo? Another really cool tune. Baby Please Don't Go. Old blues classic. A lot of cool guitar solos in that one. Great White Buffalo. Very cool tune. That's an old Amboy Duke song. Excellently done here. Hibernation. The lengthy instrumental, which of course has all sorts of great guitar soloing from Ted. All right. Over on disc 2, you got the intense Stormtroopin', another signature track from Ted Nugent from his early career. Of course, then Stranglehold, all 11 minutes and change of it. Probably the, if not the most memorable Ted Nugent song. It's definitely in the top 3, right? Along with maybe Cat Scratch Fever. But Stranglehold. Great riff. Killer solo, the kind of like jazzy, fusion-y solo that he throws in there. Very, very cool. Then you got Wang Dang, Sweet Poontang. Another silly, crazy, zany song, but man, it works. Cat Scratch Fever, of course, you got to have that. One of the most memorable heavy rock / metal riffs in history. And then kind of finishing it all off, you got Motor City Madhouse, okay? So a selection of some of Ted and Company's best tunes, all right? Missing some stuff, obviously, you know. Missing some Free-for-All, I think, you know, and obviously a few others. But performances are stellar. You know, this is, like I said, the time where Ted Nugent is just ascending up the ladder of, like, hard rock supremacy. And it's on stage out on the road where, you know, his act and the band just completely came to life. So, the other side of the ring. The guys from Boston. All right. Live Bootleg. Bootleg's, you know, a good way to kind of describe this, right? This is basically rough and raw, in-your-face Aerosmith, taken from out on the road in 1978, as the 70s are kind of winding down. Obviously, you've read the history, you know the history of the Toxic Twins, right? This is around the time where the band is just like seemingly falling apart at the seams, you know, drug abuse running rampant. The guys are just having a hard time holding it together. But I tell you what, pretty sizzling performances on here. You know, despite maybe the subpar sound quality, it's really raw and rough, okay? But I think they did that for a reason, all right? And some people, you know, some people really like that kind of bootleg sound, right? It makes it feel like you're there, okay? A lot of really good Aerosmith classics on here. In fact, I'd argue that there's more squeezed onto this live album than they got on the Double Live Gonzo album. So you got, you know, Back in the Saddle, Sweet Emotion, Lord of the Thighs. And again, these recordings are taken from all over the place, Chicago, Boston, Indianapolis, all over the country. Toys in the Attic, Last Child, Come Together. All right, a great rendition of a Beatles classic. Walk This Way, Sick as a Dog. All right, Dream On, Chip Away the Stone, Cypher Sore Eyes, Mamakin, Killer Mamakin, SOS Too Bad, Ain't Got You. All right, another cover there. Mother Popcorn / Draw the Line. All right, and of course, you got to have Train Kept a Rollin', right? Their version of a classic tune that they do so well. And it's just, it's a really, really great, really strong live album. But then again, both of them are. Which one do I prefer? Well, I was actually listening to this morning because I hadn't heard this in a few months, maybe a little bit longer than that. I listen to this, every so often, but I hadn't heard this in a while. And it's surprising how good this is. Even though, like I said, it's the band at the zenith of their kind of drug mania. So a little sloppy in spots, but that's okay. But it's just really raw. A lot of really raunchy guitar riffs and soloing on here, and Tyler's just screaming up a storm throughout. It's a really great document of a band at that point in time, right? Even though they're so damn popular, right? But they're literally just coming apart at the seams, all right? But really, really great stuff. However, I always like the production of this. I always like the performances. I mean, there's just some huge sounding guitar riffs and solos on here. And Derek St. Holmes singing up a storm. On most of the tracks, you got Ted singing a couple tunes also. But I just think this is a little bit tighter, a little bit leaner, a little bit meaner. And you just cannot beat the guitar soloing of Ted on this album. So for me, this is kind of like a back and forth fight for a couple rounds, but I think when it comes down to it, 7th round, man, Ted Nugent and company just lay a crushing left to the temple of Tyler and the boys, following up with an uppercut. Down goes Aerosmith, down for the count. The referee counts to 10. It's over. 7th round knockout. Ted Nugent, double live Gonzo. Of course, you may think otherwise, and that's totally cool. Like I've said numerous times, really doesn't matter what I choose. I do the choosing thing for fun, right? I do this whole boxing analogy thing just for fun because I'm a huge boxing fan. But the important thing about these shows, okay, is to let's look at all the great classic live albums throughout history, right? Ultimately what we're going for is a goal to find out what everybody thinks is the best live album of all time, right? So that's kind of the goal of this whole thing. So as we're going through, we're just kind of talking, we're comparing, why do we like these so much? Why do we not like these so much? Which ones do we prefer? Okay, so ultimately we can figure out kind of the general consensus of what everybody feels is the greatest live album of all time, whether, and of course we're going to be talking about hard rock, classic rock, blues rock, metal, all forms of metal, jazz fusion, prog rock. So we're going to be throwing a lot of these out there. All right, so we can see ultimately which one everybody kind of deems as the greatest. So, like I said, just a good excuse to talk about two fantastic live albums. I love both of these a lot, but in my opinion, I prefer this one. But like I said, if you feel differently or you agree or you can't decide between the two, all you got to do is go into the comments section and tell us what you love about these albums. Again, it doesn't really matter. There's no right or wrong. There's no this one is better because. It's like, no, why do you like it? Because. All right. What are the reasons why you may like one over the other? Okay, that's it. But let's just talk about the greatness of them, right? That's kind of what it's all about. So this is on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube every day. Like I mentioned, for a couple shows now, I'm going to be traveling for the day job the next 2 days, all right? And actually in each week for the next almost month, I'm going to be out a few days. So what I'm going to do probably tonight is I'm going to record a couple of these shows, and we'll get them posted for you so at least you have them while I'm not here to enjoy. And then when I come back on Thursday, we'll get back into the regular schedule just for a couple days because then I'm out again. And like I said, for the next month, I'm kind of zigzagging all over creation, traveling for my day job. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this. Go onto our Facebook page. vote for whichever one you might prefer, or if you don't want to vote, that's cool too. Just put in your comments about how much you love these albums, or maybe how much you don't love them, right? And this is on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. Check us out on Twitter as well, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.